So today we're going to take a look at interrogative sentences in Latin. And an interrogative sentence, whether it's in English or in Latin, simply is a sentence that asks a question. And in English, when we ask a question with a yes or a no answer, we move the verb to the front of the sentence. So if you take the statement, the library books are due today, you take the verb, you move it to the front of the sentence, and it becomes, are the library books due today? And in Latin, the same thing happens. The verb, which normally resides at the end of the sentence or the end of a phrase, the verb is moved to the front of the sentence. So remember, Latin doesn't have punctuation marks, and in real Latin, word order isn't always standard. So to signal the question, the Romans would then add, if you remember, an ne to the first word of the question, which was usually the verb. So there are other questions we expect a yes or no to answer, and those are called leading questions because the language we use leads to a certain answer. We do that in English, of course, and in Latin. And if you're really good at this, what you can do is by your question, you literally manipulate somebody into or lead them into giving you the answer that you expect. Now, if you're good at this in real life or with your parents or with your friends, my suggestion is that you maybe consider becoming a trial lawyer or an interrogator because this is where that kind of questioning shines. So if I said, you ate the last cupcake, didn't you? I'm basically accusing you here. I expect that, yes, you did eat the last cupcake, and I'm simply confirming my suspicion that the answer is yes. So Latin uses the interrogative adverbs nonne and num for the questions expecting the answer yes, and num for questions expecting the answer no. Now, what's interesting to help you remember which one's which, you look at nonne. If you break it down, it's non, which is not, and ne, which is the beginning of the question. So I always think of not no, then that's a yes. If that helps you, great. If it confuses you, don't worry about it. Okay, these words appear as the first word in the sentence. So there's no ne at the end. Clearly there is on nonne, but there is no ne needed at the end. So this way the reader knows a question is coming as well as what answer is expected. So if I said nonne saltat, that means I'm expecting the answer to this question to be yes. And there's a couple ways I can ask that. Is she not dancing? Well, yes, of course she is, right? That you're expecting a yes. You may get a no, but you're expecting a yes answer. Or she is dancing, isn't she? Like she's supposed to be. She's right over there. I'm just confirming. Yes, so I'm expecting a yes answer. And if I said num, which means no, now I'm asking a question that expects a no answer. She isn't dancing, is she? And I expect, based on my knowledge and my experience, that that's going to be a no, so that's why I use a num in front of it. We do the same thing in English, but we signal it simply with our voice and other things rather than up at the front of the sentence. All right. So the next thing I want to talk about is interrogative pronouns, because sometimes instead of a nonne or in front of the sentence or a num, there's going to be an interrogative pronoun. We have these exact same ones in English. You're going to pause at some point and fill out, I think it's on page 51 in your chart. You're going to fill these out. This is clearly the singular. This is the plural. Notice that in the singular, masculine, feminine, they share, and in the plural, they are different. So down at the bottom of your chart book on page 51, I've given you some hints as to how to translate the interrogative pronoun depending on how it's used in the sentence. So take some time, pause the video, fill that out, and then come back. Okay, the last thing we're going to talk about is interrogative adverbs. So finally, there are interrogative adverbs that introduce various questions. So adverbs are great. They don't decline. They're always the same. So if you look at the vocabulary this week, you'll see many of them listed. We're going to work through some of these sentences together. If you would like to pause, try the sentence on your own, and then come back and get the explanation, do that. That's why they're here. So the first one is quo modo bene intelligere eum, qui cum mentia dicit potes. So this is quo modo. It's in your vocab this week, Quomodo just simply means how. How what? How bene. Bene means well. Another adverb there. How well, and then we have the verb. So, right, we're going to look, we start with those sentences, look for the verb. Verb is all the way at the end. It's potes. We know from this verb that it takes an infinitive. Let's find our infinitive. It's not next to it, so we can do it. So, and this is second person singular, so we know it doesn't have a separate nominative. How well, potes, are you able? And this is where we bring in our infinitive. To understand. Oh, last word in the phrase before we go. We got to stop here. How well, there we go. Well are you able to understand him? Him. All right. So we have a relative pronoun. We know that qui qua quo, we know that takes the nominative because him, remember, replaces that. That's the antecedent. How well are you able to understand him? Who, what? So where's our verb of this relative clause? Dicit, who speaks. And then we have prepositional phrase here. Cum amentia, who speaks with insanity. This is not a yes or no question. This next one is a yes or no question. It starts with noom. So we are looking for the answer, let's do this in a different color, to be no. So we have to phrase that in a no sentence. So that is third person, to wish or to want, right? So we also have pay attention, another adverb. It's not next to the verb that it modifies. We've got to pay attention to that. We also have an infinitive here. And volt will take an infinitive after it. And then totum, oppidum, they belong together. Accusative singular, because it's an adjective. So let's take a look at that. So there's no separate nominative, so we needs to be a he, she, it. So he wishes, but we are expecting a no answer. So we have to insert that noom in here before the verb. So he does not, and then we're going to do our adverb right here because it modifies the verb, so put it in front. He does not truly wish. We could also put truly here, anywhere that it makes sense. Truly, he does not wish. We could also put it next to the verb here, wherever it makes sense, right? He does not truly wish. Here's our infinitive that follows. To destroy. Destroy what? Well, the only thing that we have left is our accusative. Totum oppidum. He does not truly wish to destroy the whole town. And then here's where we're going to say, no, he doesn't. Does he? Remember, that gives us a no. That gives us a no answer. All right, back to this other color here to help you. Here is our last ubi, right? Ubi is another kind of adverb. Here it means where. It's a question word. Where? Okay. So coisivit, it's perfect tense. So let's see if there's any other singular nominatives. There can be no nominatives. This is genitive singular because it's not nominative singular. This is accusative singular. So let's try it. So it has to be a he, she, or it. So, and it's also perfect. Where did she, what did she do? Seek. What did she seek? Go to the accusative. Victim of being sought was the importance. of life, genitive singular. It doesn't work well as a dative. There, you can try it. Where did she seek the importance to life? I suppose maybe you could, but of life sounds better in our English. There you go. There's 3 examples for you.